Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Val, if you're new. It's been a little while, but I wanted to pop out into the garden and show you what's been going on. We're firmly in fall at this point, and there's a lot of stuff that's done. The summer stuff is done for the season. I'm making a list of things that I'm going to have to pull and clean out. I started a little bit, but there's still some stuff left to do. And some of the fall stuff, like these peas here, are just kicking in, which is exciting. So let's walk around the garden and I'll show you what's going on. All right, so we're starting with the peas. I usually grow peas in the spring and in the fall. They're a cool weather crop. They just do better when it's cooler. And since we had a little bit of a risk of frost earlier in the week, but um, everything is fine. You'll see all the blooms. With peas, the thing to watch out for is the frost won't kill the plants. They're hardy plants. The peas, the pods themselves are fine, but it's the blooms that are at risk if ever there's a frost. But I think we're past that, at least for the short term. And the peas have started producing. So let me just tell you what I've got here. These are my usual sugar snap peas, same ones that I grow in the spring. And these ones are snow peas, which are those little flat pods. Let me see. I picked some yesterday. Oh, there's one. They're like these little flat pods. And they're starting to produce. I picked a few yesterday. And the sugar snap peas aren't quite there yet. Let me just take a quick look to see if I can spot any. No, I can't. What you'll see is the little pods form like coming out of here, out of the blooms. I'll show you what that looks like on. Yeah, well, this one, the bloom has fallen already, but it comes out of there. And then they'll start. And they always creep out at me. Or they creep up on me. Oh, here's one. There's one right there. They're so sneaky. Anyway, so peas are doing well. Which is awesome. That's a typical cool weather crop for me. I have pulled the tomatoes, my poor tomato. They didn't do well all season. They produced, but no, it wasn't a good year for tomatoes for me. So this bed is empty. Um, all of the berries. So these are the blueberries. They're done. They're nice. We've picked all of these up over a month ago now, maybe a month and a half ago. And what I love about blueberry bushes is that they turn red in the fall, which is beautiful. Marigold is doing well. The raspberries, I don't know what ate. It might have been Japanese beetles, but I've never seen them on here. Regardless, they are starting to produce now. This is a heritage raspberry, and I don't know if that's just, see, there's some more here, which is odd. I find that it's late, but hey, and I don't even know if we're going to make it. We might get a few before the weather gets them, but we'll see. And then the other raspberry, this one was an earlier producer, still has the same issue with the leaves being all eaten up. But it is what it is. So that's raspberries. A pleasant surprise were the blackberries. Like, I thought that they didn't do anything this year, and yet lo and behold, we've got this today. We noticed it, I don't know, about a month ago that they were blooming, which I thought was late for blackberries, but you know what? I'll take whatever they can give me. And then it's just a little bit, right? These were planted last year. So they're young. And we've got some on this one too. Again, I don't know if they have the time before the cold hits to ripen and to make it, but we're gonna give them a go. And the marigold is doing well in this bed. Okay, let's go over here. Strawberries, we're still getting some. We're getting the odd strawberry. I'm trying to see if I can find any. We harvested a few yesterday. Let me see. Is that a leaf or is that a berry? No, I can't see. But they've obviously slowed down quite a bit. But we're still picking every once in a while, like a little handful, 3 or 4. This is my bed of kale. This is all kale. And then the one where they're planted closer together, that's bok choy. This is all cold weather stuff, so they'll go into November. I'll have to see, because obviously they're going to grow more slowly in the cold, but we'll see if they do anything this year. This is my lettuce bed. I planted sorrel on this side, and I see one. Oh, I see a couple more here. There's more there. I love the leaves. It's got to be one of the prettiest leafy green there is. So that's there. The butter crunch always does good for me. I've already harvested a head of lettuce there for salad. And then romaine over here. These little guys are all romaine lettuce. These will all do well. And again, lettuce is typically a cool weather crop. At least where I live, I'm in zone 6 in Nova Scotia. And as long as the nights don't get below 2 degrees Celsius, I don't know what that converts to in Fahrenheit. I'll put it up on screen. It's fine. Otherwise, you'd have to cover them. And what I found interesting is that I planted, get this leaf out of the way. I planted 2 types of garlic in this bed last fall, harvested in July. I had planted, I'll show you what I did here. Let me take a step back. So I planted mostly Russian red in the first half, and like there was a last row of Siberian garlic that didn't do well, didn't come up. There were some tops, but they shriveled. And I think it's because they sprouted last fall, like within a month after I planted it. And I didn't harvest anything. But all the Russian red came up, everything worked fine. But the Siberian didn't do well. And yet, this guy, I think that's the Siberian garlic that has just decided to wake up. And I feel like I'm just going to let it go and see what happens to it. I don't know. We'll let it go. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, next door, green onions are doing really, really well. They're pretty much ready to harvest. What I do with these, I think I've mentioned it before, is that I harvest them all. I chop them up into like 1/4-inch pieces, and I put them all in a Ziploc bag and toss them into the freezer. And then whenever, over the course of the next few months, whenever I want green onions, I just open the bag, grab a handful, and throw it into the dish or whatever I'm cooking, which is cool. And then what else do I have here? These are leeks. So I'm probably just going to let these stay over winter. It's the first time that I'm growing leeks. I think I seeded them, I want to say end of July, early August, which isn't a lot of time. I don't think they're going to have enough time before the winter hits. So I'm going to leave them and see what happens. It's kind of an experiment, really. So that's that. We have the onions here. These were the red onions, where this one has decided to do something all of a sudden after a whole growing season of nothing. I'll let it go. And these are the yellow ones, the Sturon, that I'm probably going to start harvesting a couple. Like there's a couple that are probably somewhat ready. I struggled with onions this year. First time growing, but again, this is one of the new beds we prepared this year. And all of those ones that we prepared this year gave us issues where things didn't really grow well. All right, in this bed we have, this is another lettuce. It's the Grand Rapids. And this one is the corn salad. You can see them. I'm going to get really close so you can see them. They're just starting to come up. And it's the perfect weather for lettuce if you're growing it. This is all arugula, which should be kicking in pretty soon. And I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, this is spinach. Is it spinach? Yes, this is spinach. I'm looking at the leaves. That's spinach there. So that too. But again, this is one of those beds we added this year. So we'll see. In theory, lettuce isn't a very demanding crop, so it should be okay. But we'll see. Let's go. I'll start on this side. So we did, don't mind my shadow. We did blueberries. We did raspberries. The beans. The beans are slowing down. I'm harvesting maybe like a handful, maybe 10, a dozen every 2-3 days at this point. Probably due to pull them. Just checking to see if there were any that I missed in my harvest yesterday. Probably. See, they're starting to yellow, starting to rust a little bit, which is normal at this time for bean plants. Let me see. See, like there's still some there. These are they're not quite ready, but I don't want to pull the plants if I can still get some stuff off of them. So, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch there. Look at this. So I think I'll probably leave them for at least another week and then I'll pull them. And then I'm thinking of planting the garlic, this year's garlic, in the bean bed, just because this is a bed that wasn't one of the ones we added this year. So I know the soil is probably better here to ensure a good garlic harvest. Not that we didn't get a good one last year, we did, but they could be better. I've grown better garlic, but it's all good. It's a it's a process, right? This is the carrot bed. These carrots were my spring carrots, and I've been slowly harvesting them and eating them in dishes. There's a clover. There's a clover plant in there too. You can see the leaves here. But that's good. I just move around. I don't want to pull it in case I pull up half the carrots that are still growing in there. So I'm just letting it be. And then these are my fall carrots that I'm expecting to be ready sometime at the end of November. Again, cool crop, can deal with a bit of frost if it comes. So that's all good. And the famous the famous radish bed. I did not have a good radish. Let me straighten this out. I didn't have a good radish harvest this year in the spring, and I vowed to redeem redeem myself with a fall crop of radishes, which fizzled. I got maybe one, and it is not happening. So I'm attributing that to the same thing. This is a new bed we added this year. We filled it with wood, branches, etc., and then topped it up with soil. And I don't think it liked that process too much, or at least when the wood breaks down, it leaches nitrogen from the soil, which if any crop is planted there, it's going to suffer. So anywho, I'll probably clean this bed out as well, but just leave it empty for the winter. And then my garlic will go in here. I have my garlic. I bought it. I'm just waiting for a spot to put it in. And I usually plant it after Thanksgiving, sometime in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to leave the beans do their thing, probably clean those up, pull the teepees out in the next week or so, and then get my garlic in. And I'll record that so you can see what that process looks like. I can't believe it's garlic time already. It's exciting. Did I get all the beds? I think so. And then our fruit trees are done, obviously, for the year. And now it's a matter of just making sure they're mulched over the winter. And that's pretty much it. Everybody's doing okay. Somebody we had one apple that grew this year on this tree, and some critter stole it. It's all good. We, not that I like to share, but it is what it is. We live in the middle of a forest, so it's bound to happen. And then we had quite a few peaches off the peach tree, which is down there, which was really exciting. I don't know, about a dozen, which was cool. And they actually tasted good. They were a little bit small, but they were good. It's the first time that we've actually harvested anything off of the fruit trees. And it was year 2. We planted them last year. So that was exciting. All right. So in terms of cleanup, I'll be cleaning up this bed. Now that I see that there's still some beans on the plants here, I'm going to leave them for another week. I was thinking I was going to clear them out and pull them out today, but now that I see what's still on there, I'm just going to let them go. And the weather is looking good. We're looking at mid-teens of the high, low, like 8 or 9 for the night Celsius, which is fine for beans. So I'm just going to let them do their thing. And then we're going to start harvesting the peas soon, which is good. 2 types of peas this time. I usually do all sugar snap peas, but I said, you know what, I'm going to try snow peas this fall as well. And lettuce, carrots, the green onions are going to be harvested. We'll hope that these blackberries ripen in time before the weather hits. I'm keeping an eye on them so the birds don't get them before we do. So that'll be just I watch them like every day just to make sure that we catch them before the birds notice that they're there. And that's pretty much the fall garden. It's basically onions, a lot of greens, lettuce, the peas, the end of the beans, carrots, and that's pretty much it. And then I've been harvesting the herbs on the deck. I won't go up there. Just to either to dry them, either laying them on a rack to dry, dehydrating them, because there's quite a few herbs there that we won't be able to eat. So I'm looking at ways to preserve, to keep them over the winter. Whether it's drying them, or I haven't frozen them. I'm probably going to harvest the rest of the basil, these 2 pots right there, and make batches of pesto just to load the freezer with that so we can pull that out over the winter, which is super tasty and exciting. to have a little taste of summer in the middle of January. It's always nice when the snow is flying and you're eating basil pesto. That's always tasty. And you'll see the leaves are turning. I think they're past peak or they're almost at peak. We have a lot of fall foliage where we are. Pardon the glare of the sun. That's right behind me. It's beautiful out here. It's a nice day today. All right, guys, we'll leave it there for today. And my next video is probably either maintenance, pulling the beans, or planting the garlic, or both. So I'll see you next time. Happy gardening, everybody.